Welcome back to BLOCKTV, and it's time now for BLOCKHEADS, where every day we round up the top headlines from around the cryptosphere. To run us through today's top stories, we're joined by our very own Yona Hochhauser. Yona, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Asher. Good to be here. Well, we have a bunch of stories for you, starting off with Forbes. They report blockchain's billion-dollar babies. Yes, they made a list. Kraken reports that they are delisting BSV. CCN reports that rich Bitcoin trader risks the death penalty for building a home on the sea. If only it was under the sea. CoinDesk reports eToro launches their own full crypto exchange with 8 custom stablecoins. BTC Manager reports Facebook Messenger no longer supports peer-to-peer payments. CoinD reports that Ripple is planning to expand its XRP-powered XRapid platform. NCCN reports that SEC cracks the whip, drops blockchain from ETFs for misleading investors.
All right, Yona, well, let's crack the whip here and start us off today. What's the big story that you're leading with?
Right, so the Forbes, they made their own blockchain billion-dollar babies. You know, Forbes makes the top 30 under 30 and all these lists. Now, the latest list to make it to Forbes is the top 50 companies that are valued above $1 billion and operate in the US that use blockchain in their business. Now, of course, you know, there's a lot of big names there. Let me just run you through a couple. Some of the headliners: Amazon, which uses the Hyperledger Fabric; Citigroup, which uses Ethereum; Facebook, Fidelity, CVS; Foxconn, Google, HTC, IBM, ING, Intel, JP Morgan, MasterCard, MetLife, Microsoft, NASDAQ, Nestle, Oracle, Overstock, Samsung, Visa, and Walmart, just to name a few. So, you know, just when you thought, or if you were thinking that blockchain didn't make it to institutions and businesses aren't buying in, the big ones are buying in.
You know, that list, it seemed to tie even your twisted tongue. All right, taking us on, what's up next?
Well, next up, Kraken. Yes, Kraken, the exchange that yesterday released a poll asking if they should follow suit along with Binance and Shapeshift to delist BSV. So that poll got a 71% saying delist, and they followed through. They released, over the last few months, the team behind Bitcoin SV has engaged in behavior completely anti-ethical to everything we at Kraken and the wider crypto community stand for. It started with fraudulent claims, escalating to threats and legal action, with the BSV team suing a number of people speaking out against them. The threats made last week to individual members of the community was the last straw. So, yep, that was the statement that Kraken released, and now they delisted Bitcoin SV. Not a good time to be holding Bitcoin SV.
Certainly not. And interesting to see an exchange democratizing this sort of decision. I guess that keeps with the true ethos of cryptocurrencies in that sense. All right. Now, those with the Bitcoin, those holding the money, making some interesting decisions? Yes.
So CCN reports the headline, "Rich Bitcoin trader risks the death penalty for building a home on the sea." Now, this is a little bit of a clickbaity headline. The real story is that Chad Elwartowski, sorry if I butchered that name, and his wife, he made a lot of money with Bitcoin. So they're accused by the Thailand government of building a seastead, which is a micronation in the sea, with the intent to threaten the sovereign of Thailand. Now, if you look at that picture there, that's their seastead that threatens Thailand. It's a box in the sea, you know. So,
but a fine box it is.
It is.
I mean, it looks like a solid box. Any Bitcoin owner could be proud of.
Yeah, I sure hope it's seaworthy. So Chad claims that box, or that seastead, is actually outside of Thai maritime borders. And this is really an interesting story to note, because Bitcoin and these micronations at sea actually have a pretty strong relationship. There's a bunch of different groups that are trying to build, you know, these micronations out at sea in international waters where they're not really bothering anyone. There's something called the Seasteading Institute, where they believe that seasteading is the best way to allow pioneers to peacefully test new forms of government. Now, this gets along very much with, like you said, the crypto ethos of freedom, of democratization, of, you know, and I think it's quite cool. Listen, do you ever want to live out at sea?
No, I don't know if I can handle it. It looks all nice in the calm waters, Yona, but one big storm and I think I'll be ready to be at home with my cup of tea on my nice land-based home.
Also, it doesn't seem like much room if you get in an argument with his wife over there.
It's certainly right.
Does he sleep in the ocean? There's no couch. I don't know how it works.
You know, each to their own, And if they want to test out the latest possibilities for cryptos, all power to them, I suppose. Yeah. All right, now eToro making some big moves in the crypto sphere?
Exactly. So CoinDesk is reporting how eToro is launching its own crypto exchange with 8 custom stable coins. So the eToro is a social investing platform, mostly up until now dealing with stocks and traditional trading. And now they're launching their crypto exchange, the crypto exchange will be regulated by the Gibraltar Financial Services. Now, what's interesting here is that, like I said, their traditional exchange is a social trading platform where pretty much people are able to put out their bets and able to follow other people's bets more as a social trading network. And it's interesting to see how they'll incorporate that with crypto trading. This might be one of these first options for people being able to follow other people's crypto bets and see how that works if it transfers over. Well, we'll see how that goes.
I guess it's another opportunity to test out new means of market disruption within the crypto sphere. We'll be interested to see how that one plays out. All right, and Facebook, never far from the headlines. What have they been up to?
Right. So BTC Manager is reporting how Facebook Messenger no longer supports peer-to-peer payments. So one door closes, hopefully another one will open. So pretty much up until now, not very widespread, but you might not even noticed, but in Britain and in France, Facebook did allow, up until now, the sending of payments and money to friends inside the Messenger app. Now, it didn't really kick off so much, but apparently to allow room for its upcoming crypto service and coin, they're now shutting that down. Now, this actually seems like good news, that they're shutting this down, but making room for the crypto service, this apparently will mean that within the app of Facebook Messenger, you're going to be able to send, we don't know this, but it seems like all roads are pointing to, they'll be able to send crypto in the Facebook app itself, in the messaging app to your friends. If this is true, this makes it way easier than it currently is now to be sending crypto, especially to friends and around. So this is really exciting news, especially following Facebook. They're committed. We see them making big hirings, big investments in blockchain. They bought Chainspace, a blockchain startup. So big names.
And presumably this will also eventually extend to their WhatsApp application as well. Maybe we could see that integration in the crypto sphere and see them integrate and perhaps potentially their own Facebook coin in the future, depending on how that goes. All right, Ripple, what's the latest news from there?
Ripple. So CoinDesk is reporting how Ripple is planning to expand its XRP-powered XRapid platform. So XRP and the XRapid platform allows for cross-border payments. And recently, in an Ask Me Anything on YouTube, their senior vice president said, and I quote, "On-demand liquidity is available today in Mexico and the Philippines. So far, the positive responses from our customers in those two countries have been overwhelming. We are working on the next set of destinations, which we'll be announcing hopefully in short order here." So this, once again, the XRapid platform, which she said is available in Mexico and the Philippines, has a huge advantage over traditional cross-border systems. Like Swift. Swift is one that that is mainstream. They charge outrageous fees, and if you use the XRapid, you're able to send money, crypto, definitely over cross borders, super cheap and instantaneous. Now, this has, you talk about disruption. This is already disrupting, like big players like Swift, and especially if they expand it globally, this could really disrupt the whole cross-border platform, Western Union, Swift. Will knock them out of the park. Well,
certainly they're looking to disrupt industries, focusing there on Mexico and the Philippines, countries with big remittances, big international payments coming back to those countries. Interesting to see if Ripple will be able to hold on to that market and actually make a real dent there. All right, and again, the SEC, an organization never far from the crypto headlines. What's the latest?
Right, so the SEC cracked the whip. They pretty much
Thank you.
Yes, well, I could do it a couple more times. But okay, so pretty much SEC asked two companies, or at least two companies as we know so far, called Reality Shares and Amplify, to take off the word blockchain from the name of their blockchain-focused ETFs.
Okay,
Now the reason for this is that in 2011, the SEC implemented a rule called Rule 35D, also known as the Names Rule. Now, pretty much the rule was made to make it more clear for investors what they were investing in. And so what it required was that if you're going to name an asset or a fund, then 80% of that fund must correlate to the name description, right? So if you're going to name it blockchain, your fund, it has to have at least 80% blockchain exposure. So while the SEC did find that in these two funds there was blockchain exposure, it didn't reach that 80% threshold. So this actually, in my opinion, is good news. Because when SEC makes clearly defined rules and sticks to it and is consistent with those rules, it allows for blockchain and crypto investors and companies to act with more confidence, knowing that the SEC is not going to do something ridiculous, you're not going to do something out of hand, while also the investors will know they're protected by the SEC.
Yona, always searching for that credibility in the crypto sphere. I love your integrity, whip cracks aside. Ah, beautiful. I needed one more of those. Give us one more just for the. All right, there we go. We've had enough whip cracking for today. That's our very own Yona Hochhauser breaking down all the latest headlines in the crypto sphere. Remember to stay with us on BLOCKTV. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or our website at blocktv.com. I'm Asher Westrop Evans. Thanks for watching.